Fantasy Creature Project number 4. Make any changes to your body that are destructive. And we'll have to rasterize the layer to do that. So if you're going to be using the patch tool, spot healing, burn, dodge, smudge, any of those types of tools, we're going to want to do that now. Now this may even include putting things on another layer, but all of that should be done at this time. So for my person, I'm going to get rid of the nose and I'm going to point the ears. I'm going to use the smudge tool to do the ears, and I'm going to use a couple different tools to try to get rid of my nose. Now I'm going to need to rasterize this layer. So I'm going to right click and rasterize, because I know I can't do it to smart objects. Then I'm going to come up here and zoom up pretty close, and I could try my patch tool. Your patch tool, you just kind of drag around the area that you want to get rid of, and then you drag to a good area, and then it tries to sort of blend them together. So that actually looks pretty good. If you have any little weird areas, then just kind of pick up those weird areas and do those parts again, like so. All right, so now I have no nose, so that's fun. And then, in addition to that, so I've used the patch tool, I need to demonstrate another retouch tool, so I'm going to use my ear. I'm actually going to select the ear first. So I'll take my quick selection, and make sure I'm clicked on me and not the layer mask here, and I'm going to select my ear. And if it doesn't select well, it's not a really big deal. We can always fix that later on. But I'm going to be putting a copy of the ear kind of on its own layer so that I can mess with it without messing with the other ear. Okay, so now I've got this copy. I'm just going to go to Edit Copy, and then I'm in my Me folder, Edit Paste, so that this one's on a new layer. So this is just an ear. Okay, now I can do stuff to this ear layer, and I know I'm not going to mess up the other one. First off, I'm going to Control T, or if you're in Photo P, you're going to Control Alt T, and I'm just going to make this ear a little bit taller, and then out here a little bit. That's fun. And then I'll set that down. And then I'm going to take my smudge tool, and I can mess with the strength a little bit if I don't want this to go too much. And I'm just going to smudge up here. There we go. So we get kind of some little pointy ears going on. And I'll smudge a little bit in here. And I could go after this with my sharpen tool a little bit if I need to make those pixels look a little sharper. But I think it looks fine. Also, if you need to touch up the edges of it, just add a layer mask to the new layer and then paint out using a regular paintbrush, probably a hard brush though, any areas that need to be removed. Remember, we don't want to erase because we might need something back. There we go. That's more of a pointy little ear there. And if there's other areas like over here, if I don't like the way this is looking, I can paint those out. Or if you want to put your, well, I don't think I have any hair right there. We could put some hair back in there, but I don't really. I'll have a little bit there. So I could paint out where that hair is if I wanted to, and then it would look like, you know, the ear's kind of sticking through the hair. It's not bad. I guess it's okay. And then anything else you want to do to it now. So like, now that I've got that hair over that ear, I probably need to make the ear darker right here. So I'm going to take my burn tool. I'm just going to burn on this layer, on this ear. So it's just this extra little baby ear here. We're just going to burn, make it a little bit darker there in those holes. Now, I'm going to change the color of my skin. So all of this is going to change a little bit here in a little bit anyways. So at this point, any destructive changes need to be made. If you're going to add anything extra, like I added a pointy ear, or if you wanted to add a different nose, for instance, let me open and place, and I'll place my insect face. I got an insect face in here. Or you could even do this with, like, you know, any animal. Really need to get my navigator here so I can see. This is one of those things that's actually kind of easier to do in Photopea. All right, so I've got this here. I'm going to scale this down. Let's say I want to use something from this maybe in my face. I don't know if I want to or not, but okay. And then I'm just going to add a layer mask here and get rid of all this. I'm going to make sure black's on bottom and Control Backspace to get rid of that. And then now I've got this in here. And I could paint back in areas of this face on this mask. So it would give me whatever kind of weird things going on there with the animal. So I may or may not want to do this. But like you give yourself a pig nose, you know, or something else if you wanted to. But let's say that I want to do something like this. So we'll leave that there. Now, You could go ahead now and change this color so it more matches the rest of my skin. So I will go ahead and do that. I'm going to rasterize this layer and do this destructively just because I want it glued to the layer. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and then I can do Hue Saturation, and then I'm going to shift this so that it's more of a skin color for me. Pull the saturation down. I don't want it to be too light. Something like that, I guess. It's fine. All right, so okay, now that did that destructively to that layer. It is glued to that layer, but anyway. All right, so there's my destructive changes to my person. We've gotten rid of my nose. We've gotten a new nose. We've added an ear, so you need to at least make some sort of structural change like that. You could get rid of both eyes and put one big eye in the middle, or replace your mouth with an insect mouth, or something like that. So consider a change that you can make to the features.